You're listening to the Grind Line Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to another... The lady yelled at me. The recording in progress lady yelled at me, but welcome to another episode.
It was much louder.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but this is episode 337. We're off to a great start tonight. I'm here with Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
I'm good. It's officially the summer lull.
It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, the positive is that softball for me is done. So that's great, at least for a month. But yeah, there's nothing happening outside of the fact that they announced NHL 26, the trio cover Kachukis.
An abomination.
I know it's EA. I mean, they're really setting the bar high with their previews currently. I mean, you got Battlefield 6. That thing looks amazing in comparison. Like, they're going way back to how things used to be with that. You've got the announcement of NHL 26 today with their new features. Did you notice what they were talking about with that, though?
I have not had time to watch any of the videos, so enlighten the audience, Ryan.
Well, you know how they have NHL Edge stats now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Full player tracking, whatnot.
Available to everyone online.
It is. Apparently, that is going to be integrated into the new NHL.
So players are going to play like their actual stats suggest, hopefully.
Potentially. I mean, my first thought to that was it's long overdue. Or really more of the how are other leagues not necessarily doing this? Do all the other leagues have like public reporting the way the NHL is using it? I know the NFL has tracking, soccer has tracking, but is it out there?
I think football is. I think you can get pretty detailed football stats. I'm not sure about basketball or anything else. Right? Baseball has some pretty advanced stats too.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually make it work, because they're highlighting a few aspects of that in terms of more of a pass first or a shoot first, or how they approach a certain situation. Speed.
I don't know how they keep that up to date though, without just running a million updates.
I mean, for the first one, maybe you just average out what has happened, or you just go with the latest numbers. Because I mean, I think if you take an average of however far back you can go with the numbers, it might give you a pretty good feel for what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, I guess.
We're probably way over analyzing a video game, but when there's only one freaking competitive hockey game on the market anymore, that's kind of what you deal with. So it's a big step forward, I think. And apparently they're revamping Be a Pro. I hate HUT. They keep doing stuff with that, but I don't care. We'll see what happens with that, but those are my main ones. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited to be disappointed again.
Well, what we're going to talk about tonight is some guys that we hope are not disappointments.
Ooh.
And that we hope
segue.
Improve.
That was a great transition.
Thank you. I worked real hard on it. That improve their NHL 26 players as the season goes on through their edge stats. And I picked four guys that need to improve over last season to help the Red Wings in their playoff push, because they have not made another move yet. And that's slightly concerning. So we're going to start off the top with a guy that people love to hate on, and that is Michael Rasmussen. Michael Rasmussen last season had 77 games played, 11 goals, 10 assists for 21 points, was a minus 12 with 24 penalty minutes. 9 of his 11 goals were even strength. Which is good. We need even strength goals, but it needs to be more than 9. His time on ice was down about 100 minutes on the season, and he was down about a little less than 2 minutes on the
which in
night.
a way isn't surprising, given that Kane was healthy for the full season. You've got Casper coming in making the impact that he did, so that was kind of the given, right?
Yeah, and we saw him reduced a bit too under Todd. So it could have also been McClellan figuring him out, seeing where he fits. I think maybe an off season gives it a little bit more to say, hey, here's where we think your role is going to be. If we look at the evolving hockey charts, he was a 20 overall last season, a 22 offense, a 40 defense, Rasmussen is really going to be your defense, one of the guys you depend on for defense, because we saw what happened. Was it 2 seasons ago when he went down? Actually, last season he missed a handful of games too. But when he goes down,
he went down
when
when Kopp went down this past year, and it really hurt.
And that's where you get hurt. He has a positive, he's one of the players on the team that has a positive EV defense, meaning at even strength, he's out there and he's on the puck and he's breaking guys off of it and he's getting it out of the zone. He's a guy that you really need to depend on for that. But you also need him to elevate that offense. He had 13 goals in 2023-24. His highest is 15 in 2021-22. And last season, we saw him really start to come on. He had 20 assists, like I said, 13 goals. And we're like, yes, if he can carry this in to the next season and just be this like really shut down, grindy kind of forward, because he's not playing center. He has a sub 50% faceoff percentage, actually went down to 46 last season. But if we can get him in and we can get him moving and he can put in some offense while playing really good defense, that's a really solid bottom 6 guy.
Yeah, and what's nice with him, we know that he can play up and down the lineup when he has to.
We plugged him into the top line.
Yeah, is that a consistent thing you need out of him? No. But I like when the fancy stat charts align, because you've got EV up, showing him with the positive impact on even strength defense. Or I'm sorry, you have evolving hockey up. You've got the positive correlation there with EV defense. You go over to JFresh and advanced hockey stats. He's got an 80% EV defense for this past season, or maybe it's past couple three-year weighted average. So you've got an impactful player, which kind of speaks to what I put out last season when Rasmussen was out. Detroit struggled. I don't know where that post is at. It's in the ether. People agreed with it, but also
it's on the garbage pile, Ryan.
Yeah, but he can be impactful for you, especially even strength, and for a team that struggles even strength. Would you like to see more of that shorthanded? Yes, because we saw we're not even going to talk about that abysmal thing. But if you can start seeing him round himself into a more wholesome defensive type player, both offense or even strength and shorthanded, that really does help your team. So that's where, to your point, maybe that is the role that he's going to start taking on. He's going to be your grinded out, big bodied forward. Like, I think we've mentioned it before. He can be an Alex Killorn type player. We always reference the Tampa rosters that Yzerman helped build out. Maybe you see that, because at times he can provide a scoring touch. Is it like a Soderblom? No, I think you've got much more finesse and really offensive prowess with him. But Raz is he can drive the net. He can cause havoc. He's not afraid to throw the body now. He's not like a little deer trying to learn how to walk. And that's been huge the last couple of years. So now just stay healthy.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see him throw the body a little bit more. And like you said, on the penalty kill, his penalty kill defense is not good. So he needs to pick it up there. And I think part of that is being like, we saw he was able to be physical when he wanted to be. I think that's part of it on the PK too. He just needs to push guys around a little bit more.
And I wonder, maybe it was just with the system, the way the system played out. We could see something different this season. Maybe that's a lot of wishful thinking on my part, because we look at the roster, we know a lot didn't change.
I think this might go back to your point too. I think that you mentioned a couple episodes, and if they changed tracking on takeaways and giveaways, because last season in 75 games, it says he has 13 giveaways. And then in the 2024-25 season, it says he has 42 giveaways. So that is that's a huge jump. That's almost 30. And that's pretty crazy. But Michael Rasmussen, like you said, use your size. You're good in front of the net. That's the thing about Ras, is he's good and tight. He's got are his hands as good as Soderblom's? No. But he's still got decent hands in getting those greasy goals, a lot like Bertuzzi used to go to the net and get greasy goals. Yeah. Raz can do it. He just needs to do it.
Well, that's really what put Raz on the people's radar, right? His net front ability and presence was dominating going into his draft year. That was what I think got us really excited. And I want to say that we were talking about him being a Holmstrom-like player, and that really hasn't come about. So if you can do it in other ways, obviously it's a team game. You need something. So you have a 3-year deal, right? So go out there, make an impact for yourself on that deal, and help this team get across that hump.
A relatively cheap deal too, and he is one of the three players left over from Ken Holland. It is Michael Rasmussen, Jonatan Berggren, Dylan Larkin. I believe are the only Ken Holland players left on the roster. But that's going to bring us to our next guy, which is JT Compher. JT Compher.
Polarizing guy, eh?
Yeah, JT Compher last season in 76 games played had 11 goals, 21 assists for 32 points. The season before, so 2023-24, he had 19 goals and 29 assists for 48 points. So he did dip. And that 48 was even down from the season before in Colorado where he had 52. His faceoff percentage was bumped up 1%. He didn't take a ton. I mean, he did take a lot of faceoffs. So he won 457 of them. He lost 556 of them. His giveaway numbers also jumped by 19. On the evolving hockey card, he is 31 overall with a 25 offense, a 49 defense. The thing about JT is his 5v5, his even strength offense, not great. His even strength defense, pretty good. JT's good on the power play. You put him on that second power play unit, he's going to be good for you. Not good on the penalty kill. So what we want to see out of JT Compher is I need to see the offensive totals at least go back up to 2023-24. Did he play less? Yes. He played almost 3 minutes less per night. But again, it's Todd's system. He gets in, figures out where guys are going to go. He did say it was kind of plug and play as it went on because you can't really make huge, giant changes during the season when guys still need to go out and win games. So the other thing, though, is his shooting percentage came down. His shooting percentage last year was at a decently, I think, unsustainable 17.6%. And this season was at an 11.2%. So what I want to see out of JT Compher, bring that offense up a little bit more. And penalty kill, we're going to say penalty kill for everyone because anyone who's on the penalty kill really needs to step up because it was abysmal. But again, I think it's more offense out of JT Compher. And you'll see a theme. Bottom six needs more offense.
And you need that for a guy making $5 million plus for 3 more years.
Even though it's not a huge deal anymore because of the cap jump, it's still a decent contract for a bottom six guy.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you do have Kopp making 5.6, but I think you could argue he has been worth the money for the most part. I mean, we've gone back and forth on Kopp in particular, but Compher, I think, really fell off a cliff last season. Was that because of coaching with Grew? Was that the fault there? Was the fault not really adjusting? I mean, that one's kind of a tough situation of how you want to look at his stat line.
Well, the other number I'm looking at too is his Corsi has dipped for the 3rd year in a row. So when Compher's on the ice, his Corsi is a 42.7, which means that the Red Wings are controlling the puck less when he's on the ice.
And he had how many points for the year? 32. So take your pick. He had 16 points in 43 games under McClellan. He had 16 points under Grew in 33 games. So I wouldn't call it.
It is what different. It is what you're saying.
They need to find something out of him. It is what you really need. And to me, I think he needs to be more impactful offensively. We know that he can be sound defensively, other than just the power play. We know that he's been able to support the group well, especially when he's on that second unit. But as a whole, we see flashes of him being very solid at even strength. But usually, and you can make this claim with most players, it's when he's with better line mates. But at the same time, with the situation Detroit's in, you need to do that more from your own side of things, especially if you're going to be in the center spot, make that playmaking role. I don't care how you do it. Set these younger guys up to go succeed. But that to me, you can't be going out with 32 points, especially when you had almost 50 in back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too, and we'll go over it closer to the season and closer to training camp on what the actual lineup is going to look like. But you have to almost pencil in JT Compher as one of your centers, because if you figure Larkin's up top, then Casper, then Kopp, then your bottom line center is either going to be Rasmussen or Compher, and they both have similar face-off numbers. Compher's a little bit better, but if you're going to be that guy, you do need to step it up.
I mean, odds are good they're on the same line. And to me,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
that might actually play out well. I mean, if you look at Puckpedia, they've got your third line as Cop, Compher, and Appleton. Can't really be too upset because you got a Grand Rapids line as your fourth line with Soderblom, Raz, and Berggren. I know that they've all been well removed from Grand Rapids, but that's where you first saw them all together. I think that's a decent bottom six with some offensive potential, but can they click together and put it together for that?
Yeah, I might shake that up a little bit. I'm not happy with that.
You probably have to, but I mean, you've got 10 million. You've got that's a almost $13 million. Actually, it is over $13 million third line between the three guys on there. That's kind of steep.
Yeah, I think my third line is more JVR, Cop, and Appleton.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense because now that I look at the top line that Puckpedia has, they've got JVR, Larkin, Raymond.
And that's what I've seen mocked. I've seen it mocked, and they're like top line JVR, and I'm like, I don't like that at all. I would much rather put someone like Soderblom, give him that top line time with Larkin, just park him in front of the net and let him and Ray take shots. I'm not super happy with the top line JVR. But what we're going to do real quick.
Go break.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got two more guys to talk about, and then a guy who could possibly take a spot from one of the players we've been talking about. So give us 1 minute. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. During our quick break, I just want to tell everyone about something that's totally changed my mornings, Strong Coffee Company. If you're like me, you love your coffee, but you also want it to actually do something for you. This is the upgrade you've been looking for. Strong Coffee isn't your average cup of joe. It's an all-in-one instant blend made for people who care about their health and performance. You're getting 15 grams of grass-fed protein, 5 grams of MCTs for long-lasting energy, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine to help you stay calm, focused, and productive without the jitters or crash. The black blend is bold and smooth, made from organic fair trade Arabica beans, and their lattes, they've got collagen, hyaluronic acid, healthy fats, the works. It tastes amazing and helps you feel sharper, sleep better, and just show up as your best self every day. And on top of all that, they're eco-friendly too, so you can feel good about what you're putting in your body and how it's made. Check them out at strongcoffeecompany.com and use our code GRINDLINE. That's strongcoffeecompany.com, promo code GRINDLINE at checkout for 20% off. That's GRINDLINE for 20% off your order. Give it a shot. I think you're going to love it. And we're back, and we've got two more guys to talk about. And recently signed Jonatan Berggren is who we are going to talk about next. If you look at Berggren last season, oh man, I am on the wrong page. Hold on.
I don't know if you really want to look at burgers for last season.
Well, I've got Hockey Reference up, and I have a Johan Berggren pulled up.
That's close.
Jonatan Berggren last season in 75 games played had 12 goals and 12 assists for 24 points, was a minus 13. Yeah, that was not good. We hoped for more. I mean, I think we hoped he could be around a 20 goal guy. More than 12 is what we were expecting in 2022-23. He had 15 goals and 13 assists for 28 points. So he's actually gone down from there. His shooting percentage was at a 13.6%. He actually averaged more time this season at 12 minutes and 59 seconds of ice time per night. Berggren is a guy that I feel like last year should have been a prove it year for him, and he fell down.
And thought that was going to be the case, right?
And then Yzerman went out and signed him again to another prove it. So, and he seems motivated. He's saying all the right things. He said, hey, it's my year to go out and show what I can do. I mean, what do you want from him, though? What we talked about recently is, and not we, but online, I was going back and forth. Berggren is not defensive enough for his offense to outweigh him in top six. And he's not grindy enough to play a bottom six role. So he's kind of in the middle, which is where you don't want to be which is how you end up back in the AHL or how you end up back in Sweden is you're not good enough for the top six and you're not, I guess, rugged enough for the bottom six. So you don't really have a spot. And that's what he needs to overcome.
Yeah, it's tricky because we've been very high on him from the rip. Ever since he was drafted, we know the skill and talent is there. I mean, he was a point per game player in Grand Rapids. That usually translates pretty well into the NHL. But for whatever reason, maybe it's the stick. Maybe you want to go the superstitious route. He has changed something up in that sense. But we've seen the flashes. We've seen the playmaking ability of what can be there. We've seen him have some beautiful snipes, but it's just kind of here's one, here's one. I mean, it was more than a Philip Zadina, who I'm sorry I had to bring that name up, but there's flashes. Now I think with maybe with a McClellan, there can be some consistency because you pointed out that Berger said it's a prove it contract basically. He had that article back on July 31st from Jonathan Mills at DetroitRedWings.com. And Berger's goes, especially last summer, I feel like it was really good. And then at training camp, everything felt good. I took another step last year, but I feel like I'm starting at a higher level this year, maybe than where I was 2 years ago. I want to do the same thing this summer because I feel like that's going to give me a good result this year. I like the way he's saying these things. You pointed at that right out the rip with him. But now show us. Because for this team to take a step forward, you've got a manageable contract for 1 year. Yes, Yzerman can use it as a trade chip if you really wanted to. I mean, you've even got The Athletic praising his contract as a good value pick at B- for a contract grade. So there's things there that could make it impactful. But in the depth role, especially if he's going to be on the fourth line, are you trying to have your fourth line be a grinded out group? Because right now, with when you look at it, it could be that with Soderblom and Raz potentially together, and then you add Bergers to it. You've got some decent skill there that could click. But again, to move this team forward, you need guys like him with his particular skill set to be impactful with the puck. I'm not necessarily worried about what he can do for me defensively on this team. We know that he's not necessarily going to be out there shorthanded, not really going to be out there in the big moment, final minute and a half defensive play stands. Give me some offensively to work with.
One of the things people bring up is that he needs skill players around him to get him the puck in good situations. And I think that that's where if you look at a third line and you want to put Bergers on a third line, or if you want to shift him and play him with JVR, I think could also be kind of helpful. Because JVR tosses pucks too, and maybe he gets Bergie in open areas. Berggren has improved his Corsi. Last season was at a 42.1. It is at a 48.2. So the team possesses the puck now more when he is on the ice than they did last season. But the EV offense numbers are low. On the chart, he's a 23 overall with a 15 offense. And surprisingly, last season, a 50 defense. So he brought it up a little bit. Goals above replacement is positive defensively. His expected, though, is down. So he needs to bring that offense up a bit. If he could, I think he can be, given the right situations, I think he can be a 20-goal guy. I think if you put him out there on PP Unit 2, I think he could hit 20. Like, there's the potential for that there. In 13 minutes of ice time, it might be a little harder. Maybe he bumps up a little bit.
Give me 15 and call it a day.
Sure.
15, I think, should be the bar. Actually, maybe the bar is the wrong word, but no, actually, I don't think so, because he had 12 goals last year. He had 15 goals in his rookie campaign.
So if he got a 15-20, if he had a 15-20 season, so if he had 35 points on the season for a bottom six guy, I think that's successful.
Yeah, I think that's a win. You need that. I mean, you look at these teams, look at Florida, again, winning the cup, the depth that they brought to the game. That's what you need. Now, granted, they're shit disturbers top to bottom. We don't have that.
And they get away with a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's especially with playoffs, but that's everybody at that point. But in general, yes. But with Bergers, you need, I think, that 15 minimum goal mark. He set the bar himself, his rookie campaign, and then he had last year hurt, 2 years ago, I should say. And then last year, you're just like, well, it didn't go well. I mean, a lot of that could have been, again, you look at Casper, his deployment. You look at Bergers and his deployment, how things were used. Yes, a lot of it was getting the feeling out process, but now you got McClellan getting a full offseason. The skill's there, like we said. Now, will the coaches try to dig into that? I think that they can, but he said it himself. This is my year to prove it.
So the last guy we're going to talk about tonight, there needs to be a disclaimer before it, because this is in no way a slight at all toward him. He is a great player. It's just we need not we need, but we would like to see another step up
more
because he is so young, and that is Simon Edvinsson. Simon Edvinsson last season in 78 games played had 7 goals and 24 assists for 31 points. He was a net positive player. Simon Edvinsson was a plus 12. He averaged 21 minutes and 7 seconds of ice time last season, and he had 86 hits. He is an overall 69 nice on Evolving Hockey's charts with a 76 offense and a 52 defense. Now, why is he on this list right now? He's on this list because I think Simon Edvinsson should be for a very, very, very long time your top pair left defenseman. That is what he should be. You should be able to fill out your bottom 4 with guys over time. But I think Simon Edvinsson is the perfect partner for Mo Seider. Now, what does Simon need to do towards the end of the season? You could see that it may have been getting to him a little bit. 78 games in the NHL is a lot, and he's slowed down a bit. He needs to just find consistency through the whole season is what he needs to find. We've seen him be mean. He needs to keep that. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to hit people. Mo hits people. Teach Simon how to hit people. The world could be his. He could light up the entire NHL. We could have 2 of the best defensemen in the league. Simon just needs to continue on this path. Now, is he bad? No. In Zero World was he bad. I just know he has that next level. I know he can do it. He is young. He's 22 years old. He just needs to pick up where he left off last season. Not where he left off, but pick up off of where he was really good last season. Just be consistent throughout the whole thing.
I would like a little more defensively. And really with what we saw, even strength, I don't think you have a whole lot to worry about. There's times where you get worried that he might be too overly aggressive in the offensive zone or trying to make something happen. I think from what I've seen, that settles itself down this year now that he's got that full season under his belt. But where he really needs to be impactful, in my opinion, is shorthanded, which, again, disclaimer, the whole team needs to be that. But you look at how things were going, if one extra block, one extra pushing a guy out of position, one extra clear, those little things will add up for your team in the long run. And if you've got him and Seider really leading that charge, it's huge. And as I'm talking to Mario in the background earlier today, this is also a guy that it would be nice to see Yzerman lock up before the season gets going to a long-term deal, because he's on an expiring ELC. If he does pop off this year with it adding more points to what he already has, on top of having a great shut down defensive season, if you're adding on to that average time on ice, that number is going to go up. Now, is it likely going to go up regardless? Sure. But tell me you wouldn't sign him to an 8x7.
No, I would. And I would do it now rather than later. But if his agent is smart, his agent will tell him to play out the season, and then they'll end up getting more money as long as he performs, because I don't think there's a chance really that he does worse.
Well, no, I don't think there's a chance that he does worse, a knock on wood. But, I mean, you know that he's not making more than Mo Seider. But you do know, if you're the agent, you've got 4.75 falling off with Ben Sherratt. You've got 3.4 falling off with Justin Hull, and another $2 million with Eric Gustafsson.
Yeah, he knows there's going to be money there.
Yeah, and you've also got almost $2 million falling off between buyout and bonus carryover. So there's a lot of money that's going to become available that they can lock him down with. It will not be over $8 million. There's no way, shape, or form that'll happen. I think 7 can be safe. Maybe you bring it in. What did Keandre Miller pull in? I mean, do you think he comes in at a 7.5 like Keandre Miller? I don't think so.
If you were to sign him today, you'd probably get him at around 7.
I think so. I think that'd be safe. But if you let this play out, you're now, granted, in the grand scheme of it, that $500,000 isn't a whole lot, but for the way that they nickel and dime it and prefer to be up toward the cap limit, that'll be a big deal. Now, we'll see how it goes, but to me, I'm excited to see what his top end can be. I think he can be a star in the league defensively. And if you've got Sider getting to that elite level, you've got Edvinsson coming in right behind him. That's where you want to be going into the new world of salary cap, because then you got free agents that see it. You've got players that want to be here and try to help this team win, as long as they're starting to do it themselves now.
Yeah, and I think my guys, so if we were talking about guys who, if one of these guys like Berggren or Compher or Rasmussen falter, who is someone that could come in and grab their position? I think the answer is Carter Mazur. And I go back and forth and look at, does Mazur start the season on the team, because he was supposed to end the season on the team last year, because, or not last year, but this last season, but he got hurt. Second shift, dislocates his elbow, gets hurt. So I think that he has the best chance of, even out of training camp, in preseason, unseating one of these guys and forcing a trade. I think the easiest one is Berggren knocks him to an extra forward position, and Mazur slots right in there.
It becomes very interesting because you don't have a lot of contracts falling off after this season. Most of them are a minimum of 2 more years. And yes, you've got Kane. He's an expiring deal. You got JVR as an expiring deal, and then Austin Watson. So you've got, those are your main UFAs that fall off after this season. Mazur's right up there. I think he can become impactful. But then you look at how things have gone. Does MBN give you a shot to try to make this roster? Does Nate Danielson make the leap? Outside of those two, you're going to be waiting for Carter Bear. There's excitement there that he could be the cream of the crop. Maybe he's a guy that next season you start seeing an impact, but you start getting past this coming season, then you start thinking maybe about Dmitry Pechanikov as well.
And so Ammo.
In Ammo. There are some players, because if Ammo comes in, stays healthy, the expectation there, he started to pop off, and he said it himself, it takes him a little bit of time to get acclimated. He's at that point where it can't take as long. But to your point, that could very well be a guy that comes in and upsets somebody in terms of a veteran. So a lot of ways this can play out the next 2 years. This season, though, my eyes still drift to Nate the Great and MBN and the Carter Mazur.
Cool. Those are the guys we're going to talk about tonight. Ryan, we'll get your final thoughts before we sign off.
Final thoughts. Swings pre-sale or tickets went on sale today. Did you jump on that pre-sale?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, they're not cheap, especially for the home opener. But I did lock mine down, 3 of them, because now the daughter wants to go. So thank you for digging deeper into my wallet. But yeah, other than that, can't wait. Already around 33.
Yeah, you can follow me online at Bring the Wing, Grindline Podcast online at Grindline Pod. Give a shout to the Hockey Podcast Network and thank them for hosting us around Vintage Detroit, which is the only place you should get your Detroit jerseys from and work done, where we have an exclusive t-shirt deal. If you click the Keep It Local tab on their website, click the Grindline Podcast, you can find all our designs there. We would love for you to go to YouTube, search the Grindline Podcast, sub to us, and turn on those notifications. You'll get notified every time an episode goes live. But that is going to do it for us tonight. So for Ryan, I am Greg. You stay classy, Hockey Town.